Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to day 2 of semester 3.0. My name is Akman Funke. I want to say a big thank you to the organizer of this event, Mr. Uluwa Tony and his team. I pray that God will give you more grace to impact your generation and generations to come in Jesus' name. Amen. So today I've been asked to speak on beyond paying the bills. How can parents influence their children's academic achievements in the university? Beyond paying the bills, how can parents influence their children's academic achievements in the university? Parents have been so fantastic. They've been so awesome in the area of sacrificing their lives so that their children can become a better person. So aside paying the bills of the students, of the children rather, so how can they influence the children's academic achievement in the university? Okay, I'd like to start by saying that parents actually need to know the kind of era we are in. Thank God for COVID-19, who has really changed a whole lot of things, not only in Nigeria, but in the whole world. So the age we are in now is quite different from how we parents, how we lived our life back then in those days. Students' lives these days quite different from what it used to be 5, 6, 7 years ago. Even life in 2018 can't be compared to things now. It has really changed drastically. Okay, so right now we are in a different age, we are in a different world. So for parents to influence their children's academic achievement in the university, they will need to understand the time and season that we are in at the moment. So one major way parents can actually help influence their children's academic achievement in the university is to understand the kind of children they have at the moment, the kind of students that they will be at school. Okay, that's going to lead me to quickly talk on Generation Z. Generation Z. Most of the students in school now belongs to Generation Z. Okay, Generation Z are the kids or children born after 1996. Children born after 1996. And then we have the millennial age, millennial generation. Those that were born between 1981 to 1996. Those are the millennial age. So what's unique about Generation Z is that they are the first generation to be born into a fully digital world, and they are more than just online a whole lot. Most of them, they are always online. You always see them with their phone 24/7. Okay, so that will of recent I was just thinking of like this world we are in is just beyond the physical world. Before now we have the spiritual world, we have the physical world, and now we have the online world. So every human being living at this age is living in three worlds: spiritual world, physical world, and the online world. And it is not a new thing that the spiritual world controls every other world. Another thing is that the online world right now can actually destroy one's physical world. I've heard of so many people whose comments on social media or their posts on social media actually put an end to their career or caused a chaos in their lives. So we cannot neglect the fact that these children were born in the Generation Z, and then they have to be online a whole lot. Not like the millennial age whereby all they do online just to go seek for information. But Generation Z, they are always there. Whatever is happening 247, they want to know whatever is happening in and around the world. So older generations view the internet first as a place to get information and content, and second as a place to connect. But that is not the same for the younger generation, Generation Z. So this younger generation sees being online or their online identity as true self-expression. They take it very serious. Whatever they see online or whatever they post online, they take it as being their own self or saying the true thing about someone. That is their online identity. So some of them, even most of them, there are so many friends that they've met online who they've not seen physically. A good example is myself and Mr. Oluwatoni. I'm here to meet him in person, but here we are on this platform. So that's one of the things whereby Generation Z try to get to enjoy communication. They love to communicate, they love to collaborate, they love to make new friends. Even sometimes they know that the friend they're about to make might be dangerous to their own life, but just because they want to make friends, they do not mind going to any length to make friends or to make connections to other people via the internet. Another thing is that before now, smartphones were not allowed in school, but now schools are now in smartphones. So as parents, we need to understand the children that we have at the moment and how we can help them in their achievement, in their academic achievement in the university. So one more thing I need parents to understand is that these children, these students are digital citizens. They are digital citizens. We call them netizens. Like I said, they were born in the age of being online, where everything is done online. Even schooling is online. To get job now, you need to be online 247. There are new jobs being created every now and then. Okay, it's not like before. So this moment, if you're not digitally inclined, there is no way you will be able to even earn a living after school. There are students out there that are in school but they're still earning a living just by being digitally inclined. So I need parents to understand the season, the era that our children are in. Like I said, they are referred to as a digital citizen. They are digital citizens. So who is a digital citizen? A digital citizen refers to a person who has the knowledge and skills to effectively use digital technologies to communicate with other people and then participate in society and create and consume digital content. So parents need to be digital citizens too, because if parents are not digital citizens, there is no way they can be of great help to their wards or to their children. Because if they are not digitally inclined, there will be controversies. Remember some time ago, my mother-in-law is always like, all of you, you're always on your phone 247, you will not listen to me, blah blah blah. That's when we go and visit. But recently, when we went there for the last holidays, she was on her phone almost throughout. We're like, Mom, you were the one that was always complaining that we used to be on our phone almost all the time, but now you're the one doing it the most. So parents need to be digitally inclined. And not just them being digitally inclined, they are meant to know how to use the internet positively. And then also tell their children about how to use the internet in a more positive way. Parents need to get social media literate. They need to be social media literate themselves. They need to find out who in their extended family and social professional circles are in social media and what apps and services they use. So parents also need to start playing their social media with their peers and then also with their children also. They need to be friends with their children even online. And then when they are when they are friends with their children, that does not mean that they should make comment publicly on their pages or in front of their friends, because that can embarrass them and then send them on the ground. They can even change their name on social media so that parents can't get to see what they're doing. So in this world, if parents can be very, very close and friendly with their children, with their students, with their children rather, I see nothing bad in them since education this day has gone online. So having mentioned that parents need to understand their children, they are the digital citizens, and also providing them with the right equipment like laptops, smartphones, data connection, and at all time. And a parent also need to be digital citizens or digital literate also. So the next thing is that parents need to be fully involved in their students' education. They need to be fully involved in their children's education. Now there's nothing wrong in if parents can make researches based on what their children are studying in the university or about to study. I see nothing wrong in that. They can even help to foster a love of learning by helping them make those connections between the content in the curriculum and their lives outside of school. So since the parents know what their children are about to study in the school or studying, they can even help make researches like sending PDFs, videos, and the likes. Gone are those days whereby parents don't know what their children, what the content that the children will be studying. Even before a child leaves home, a parent can always make research online. You get so many information on what your child is about to study. So there's nothing wrong if parents can help make those researches. It's going to make learning easier and faster for the child. Like a child is going to school to study, let's say medicine. If you can go online, you see so many artwork, so many paperwork of those who have gone through that line. So if parents help in making those researches, their children are going to be happy that, oh, that am I really involved in what I'm doing. So apart from parents knowing that their children these days are now digital citizens, and then parents need to be digitally inclined, they need to be fully involved in their children's academics. They need to be involved because that's going to go a long way. I remember those days when we were in primary school, our parents would come for PTF, secondary school PTF, they are always there. But discovered that these days parents are no longer involved. Once a child gains admission, that is all. All they do is to pay your school fees, they send you money for your provisions, and that is all. Parents these days are no longer involved in their children's tertiary education, and that is not too good. I heard of a story of a child who, while he was in primary and secondary school, was always the top in his class. But when he got admission into the university, is the kind that usually his parents that were always around him during his primary and secondary school days. But now, his parents are no longer there. There is a new world. So the child was made to discover the new world is in. So with no time, the first semester, he had a good grade. Second semester, good. In the second year, his grades began to drop. Now he has new friends. This is a new life. Something that he has not experienced before. So it took God's grace for that child to come back to regain himself and then catch up academically. So parents should not just leave their children to the university and then that is all. They believe that once they pay the bills, that's all they need to do. Where is that space for constant checkup? Where is that space whereby you call your child almost all the time, you send mails, you call the lecturers and the like? So please, parents, we need to be fully involved in our children's learning, especially tertiary education. Having said that, parents should collaborate with their children's lecturers and friends. That is going to go a long way. Even if they think they are big boys and big girls now, but as parents, we need to do this. If these things are put in place, it's going to reduce the number of children joining cults, involving themselves in immoralities and the likes, because they know that our parents are always on check. And not that sometimes parents you do it as in sometimes we overreact to things, we overdo things. Okay, so there's a place for moderation. So when we keep checking, we have our children's lecturers, their phone numbers, their friends, we know whom their friends are, we know whom their roommates are, we keep checking them most of the time. That's going to help them achieve a whole lot while in school. Aside that, you're building this intimate relationship with your kids. Most time when children gain admission in school, there's this drop in intimacy between parents and kids. That should stop. And the way we can bridge that gap is when parents are fully involved. So just as when we're in secondary school and primary school, parents do come attend PTF, sometimes when we don't expect them to just show up in school, we should still continue that process. Even if it is once in a semester, it's still okay. Because you're praying that your children are going to feel loved, that mom is always around, showing your parents, showing you off to their friends is something very, very important. They feel so unique and awesome. They feel loved. They feel that they belong to a family. But once that is no longer there, they have this thinking that now they are on their own. They can do anything they like. I've heard of so many stories where children go to school. Some even in the first year, they actually got expelled from school, whereas our parents were not aware. But if parents keep checking, you have lecturer's phone number, you have the admin's contact, you have their friends' contact, that's going to go a long way. And the next thing I want to talk about is that the journey is as important as the destination. The journey is as important as the destination. We want our children to become medical doctors, to become lawyers, to become great things in life. We should not just leave them alone. We need to constantly be on the lookout. So it is good to know how a child is doing as he or she proceeds through the semester. Most of us parents will actually wait till the final year that will cook rice, invite people. What happens to the process? What happens to the journey? Have you been involved? Do you know the grade your child score in the first semester and second semester? Are you aware if your child has 2 or 3 or 4 10 carryovers? I pray that God will help us. Most of us are always as in thinking about the destination. The year my child is going to graduate. Nigerian parent, we will kill cows. We invite so number of people. You're not involved in the journey of a child's life, and then you're looking at the destination. Even that child on that day will be happy. But the child should remember that throughout these 4 years, my parents were not involved, and now they want me to become this. And even some parents go to the extent of telling their child what they want them to study in school, which is totally wrong. We need to give our children the space, to decide what they want for themselves. While they were growing up is that time we have to build them up, build in some skills in them. So once they become adults, we need to give them that space to think on some things. So what we can do is just to back them up with our prayer, with our support, with our little advices. So the parents and lecturers should also collaborate. It's very, very important. Know how your child is faring in school. Don't wait until final year and then you discover that your child has been having carryovers all throughout the year. Your child is going to be having another year added. Okay, then the next is that there should be an active dialogue about school constantly. When your child comes home on break, do you discuss about things happening, especially between the first 2 years of your child being in the university? So we need to have active dialogue. Discuss how has this semester been, who are your lecturers, how do they take lectures, how do you take lectures, things like that. We should not leave them alone. Then we should also, like I said earlier, we should try and visit the child in school occasionally. Make calls. Don't say because they are adults now, we don't make calls to them. Nigerian parents are really losing it a whole lot. And then we say that it's probably it's witches and wizards that are turning our children's heart against us. That's not so. There's been a big gap between parents and their kids that are in the university. So we need to bridge the gap. We need to bridge the gap. We need to put an end to the vacuum. Now, how can we do all these things? How can we do all these things? How can we be involved in the journey of our children's academic life and not just the destination alone? I've said that earlier. Visit your child in school promptly, occasionally. Make calls. Know who their friends are. Know who their lecturers are. There's nothing wrong in making researches on their behalf. Send videos, send PDFs. So model good success to your kids, to your children. If parents can model good success to them, they are going to follow suit. So when we make research on their behalf, we ask, okay, this semester, what are those things you're having? How many courses are you going to be studying? When we tell them, they tell us, then we make researches on their behalf. We prepare them ahead of the semester. What we actually do when they were in primary and secondary school, we should not stop at it. The next is that the first is visit your child occasionally. The second, model good success, because there is bad success. Then the third, praise and reward them on the journey, not after getting to the final destination. We do not do that. Back then we tell them, if you can score, if you can come out as the first student in class, I'm going to get a bicycle, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Now we don't need to wait to final year to award or to reward our kids. First semester, how was the result? How is your result? How did you fare in your examination? We ask them. Then we need to praise them at that point. A child who is being rewarded in the first semester is going to do more in the second semester. A child who was greatly rewarded or praised in the first year is going to do more in the second year. Not just the academic alone. What about their character? We are losing it in Nigeria in their character. Our attitude really matters a whole lot. Not just academics alone. Some people in this world now are excelling apart from academic. It should not just be academics alone. We can also reward them in their character and their way of doing things. Are they honest? Are they of good habits? Do they show empathy towards others? Let's praise and reward them on the journey, not until they get to the final destination. So like I said earlier, we should also maintain a dialogue with the lecturers via email, phone calls, WhatsApp. We should learn to do that. It will go a long way in shaping the lives of our children. And then this age we are in, digital world cannot be left out. You need to be involved also. Know the friends of your children online. And once we do that, let's be mindful of the comments that we make on our social media. So I think these tips are going to go a long way. Parents these days need to be fully involved. Let's go back to how we used to do it in those days while they were in primary school. We always check on them. Before school resumes, we ask them, the school gives the scheme of work for the term. We prepare them ahead of the term. There's nothing wrong in doing that even to our children in the tertiary institutions. There's nothing wrong in doing that. It's going to foster love between parents and their kids and their children. And it's going to also curb some excesses. You're going to know the kind of friends your children are following. If your child is having issues from the first year, you will be aware. And that's going to help your child reduce any form of silly habit or silly actions. Because there is no way they are youths. They will always want to exhibit this youthful exuberance. So we need to be there for them whenever they err. Let's always show them love whenever they err. If a child has carryover, it's not the end of the world. Sometimes children having carryover is because their parents were not involved. This parental love is no longer there. Parents just leave them to fate to themselves. So please, all this should stop. Parents need to understand that kids now are digital citizens. You need to model good digital citizens to them. We too should mind what we post online, what we watch when we have data on our phones. Okay, get them the good gadget, tell them about the new jobs, the trending jobs, the jobs being created now and then. So if parents are not involved, they don't know the kind of job, there's no way they will be able to tell or inform their kids. Nowadays we even have people that study zoology in the bank, in different sectors. So these days, it's not about what you go to school to study, it's how you are able to solve problems, how you are able to become a problem solver to the world. That's the most important thing. Should teach our kids to be problem solvers, not just to go to school to study, how they can affect their world positively. And we parents need to start doing that. We need to model good success to our kids. Be fully involved, know their friends, know their lecturers, be conversant with what they study at school and how they study. I see God helping us in doing this. So thanks so much for listening. If you have any other question or if you have question, feel free to ask. Thank you, Mr. Luatoni and his team. God bless you. Bye for now.